Breaking news and some images of the Mexico border, where thousands of Honduran migrants are continuing their journey to the United States. And CNN special correspondent Bill Weir is traveling alongside what is being called a caravan, now at the Mexico border, and joins us by phone. Bill, are Mexican officials letting these migrants pass through?
No, Anna, they are not, despite literally a wave of humanity that essentially broke open the gates to Mexico. We're on a bridge that separates Guatemala from the southern tip of Mexico here. There's about 400 riot policemen, federales, on the Mexican side behind a 20-foot steel fence that had been padlocked shut. But for some reason, the authorities on the Guatemalan side let this huge surge of humanity in. There are families, there are children, toddlers, and they all came streaming up to the fence. At first, they tried to form a single-form line because they were told they'd be let in one at a time in a humane, orderly way. But the crowd was just too powerful. They pushed against, literally broke open the padlocks, and were greeted by the cops, the policemen are now forcing the gates back shut after firing either smoke canisters. I didn't smell tear gas, but an incredibly frightening scene to be in the middle of this scrum of people. I was picked up off my feet. Now I'm surrounded. There's a little more space. People have backed off. There's a little more space, and you can see all the shoes that have been lost in the trample. There's a man in front of me. The crowd is detaining them. He's suffering from heat stroke, maybe having a heart attack. It's so hard to tell.
Oh my goodness.
The majority of the crowd is from Honduras. In fact, they're waving Honduran flags. And most of the people I've talked to say they just are so desperate they have no other choice but to head north and come look for work. Many told me they will hope to find jobs here in Mexico. Some talk about coming to the United States. I asked them if they're deterred by President Trump, by separating families in the past, by new stricter laws, and they said they have no choice. Several that I talked to. Some said they'd be willing to stay on this bridge for months if that's what it takes to convince Mexico to let them in. But this is obviously a huge test for the president's foreign policy. He's encouraged the new Mexican government. They're in transition. The new president takes over in December. Who's got a much more humane, seemingly empathetic attitude towards Central American migrants than his predecessor. But so far, it looks like Mexico is holding the line here at this river, Anna.
And I'm just looking at a news alert from earlier in which we did know that Mexico had sent troops to the southern border, but they said it was to provide aid and to care for migrants. And I'm quoting here, in an orderly manner and with full respect for the human rights of migrants. It sounds like what you're describing, Bill, is chaos.
Yeah, and it's hard to, oh no, whoa. Somebody just threw, like maybe it was a water bottle, and people literally scattered in panic, thinking it was smoke. I got a false alarm. Yes, I mean, this is really just an exercise in crowd control, what we're witnessing here. Imagine if they threw open the gates to a concert, as we learned that lesson in years past, and people are trampled. That's what happens when they opened up the Guatemalan side. Tear gas. Wow, the canister landed literally 2 feet from me. No, don't throw rocks. Oh.
Bill, if you need to go,
Right,
we understand. We understand if you need to go, but we want to make sure you stay safe.
All right. I got to get to safety. I'll
Please get to safety, Bill. We'll take a break. We'll let you get where you need to go. Please do be careful out there. Again, Bill Weir reporting from the Mexico border, the border with Guatemala, the southern border, where he has been traveling with this caravan. That's been many of them coming from Honduras, trying to make their way to the United States. They have now been confronted at that southern border in Mexico. And as Bill was just describing and speaking with us, it sounds like there has been tear gas now deployed to try to do some kind of crowd control. We'll check back in with Bill as we get an opportunity to talk to him, make sure he stays safe, and find out more about what the situation is.